told y'all, I told y'all, I told y'all it was going to be that one word, the conflict. Let's talk about it right after our intro. Hi, y'all. I'm back. And listen, I try to get on here as much as I can, but life happens sometimes. But I've been meaning to talk to you all about this since that ruling dropped. Oh, my goodness. I told you that word conflict. When I heard that senator go after Ashley Merchant about the word conflict, when he kept saying, where is the conflict? Where is the conflict? I told you. I said in one of my last lives, I said, you guys, do you think by any chance that they're trying to set the scene for an out for her? And y'all went in on me. Well, not everybody, but y'all went in on me because I know how Atlanta works. I told y'all I'm from Atlanta. I told you I know how Atlanta works. And I knew that it was going to be something else for them trying to figure out how are we going to word this? How are we going to get out of this? Okay? How is this going to go down? My ears, glory, looking for to chatting on this has been a wild ride. Yes, it has. It has been a wild ride, a serious ride. So by now, not unless you're living under a rock somewhere, you know that the ruling came down. Okay, this past Friday, which I think it was the 15th. Okay, and to me, Judge Scott McAfee, he played the center. Okay, to me, he played it safe. Okay, I still think it's a fair ruling. Okay, but I think he played it. I think he played it safe, stating that Fani and the DA's office can stay on, but Nathan Wade has to be removed. And I think he probably came from Nathan Wade's standpoint, from him pretty much lying. Not pretty much. He didn't tell the whole truth on his paperwork that he turned in for his divorce. I told you when we did, go back and look at my live that I did for the first ladies of this case. Okay, the first ladies of this hearing. I spoke specifically about Mrs. Jocelyn Wade and her attorney, and how she found out that Nathan had this position from the news. They found out on the TV. Can you believe it? He found out on the TV that that's how money was being made. Hey, Sergeant King, how are you? Yeah, so they found out from the news. So let's just run down a little bit. And, that's why I try to just kind of wait like a day or two to kind of see where everything is settling, because to read through that rule, I think it was like 23 pages long. Okay. But just to summarize what the judge was saying is that, first of all, he really went in on Fani and Nathan Wade with their behavior. Okay. He agrees that it was atrocious behavior. Okay. It was not any type of way that a district attorney or a prosecutor should have been behaving. He agreed totally with that. He went in, he did not spare words where that was concerned at all. Okay. But what he did state, and what I told y'all from the beginning, when they brought in that word conflict, I said, somebody is having a meeting somewhere. Okay. Somebody is talking about this conflict piece. Okay. So what he's saying is that he couldn't see the conflict and how that was preventing the defendants from getting a fair case. Now, he admitted there was a problem. He admitted there was an issue with their behavior. He admitted all of that. But you have to remember now even though we're talking about Fani Willis, Fani is not the district attorney's office for Fulton County by herself. It's an entire group of people. She is the head of that group, but she's not the office by herself. And so that moves me to the next point of what's going on at this level. Now, to me, I think the judge realized that he didn't have to layer the boom on Fani because there's so much other stuff that's going on right now behind the scenes to, in my opinion, to get her out. Okay. And from a more of an ethical standpoint, I really feel like they are in the works right now to get her removed. So what is taking place? And again, go back and check my other lives because I kind of did very thorough commentary on it. But from the Fulton County, from the Georgia Senate hearings that they had about a week and a half ago, that Wednesday, with Ashley Merchant, when she really gave a lot more information than she had given in the trial. So when they had the Georgia Senate hearings, they decided that they are going to now go forward, okay, and try to put into some type of law that the behaviors of a district attorney would have to be or could be removed from the state. And so even after that Georgia Senate hearing, I think it was the very next day, the governor of Georgia, Brian Kemp, signed into law stating that, and how he, and I can't remember the exact sentence, but I remember him using the word rogue behavior. So if they exhibited rogue behavior, that they could be removed by the state. So what does that look like? So if the governor feels as though that a district attorney or prosecutor is behaving that represents like the county or city, if he feels as though that their behavior is not up to par what a district attorney should be, then he would pass their information over to the state attorney general for prosecuting. To me, if you look at the succinctness of how everything is happening, right? Georgia Senate hearing, next day, governor of Georgia signing that law into play, okay? A day or two later, the judge's ruling stating that Nathan Wade has to be removed, okay? And since that time, he has turned in his resignation, okay? And publicly, he submitted his resignation letter, and publicly, Fani Willis accepted, okay? All of that happened succinctly. Now, what is happening? Now, remember, I told y'all in another live as well that a bar complaint had been filed. In fact, two, I believe, had been filed against Fani Willis, but they were dismissed. They were dismissed because they stated that they could not bring a bar complaint because she was considered a state officer. Well, are y'all ready for this? Had to take some notes on this one. A new bar complaint has been filed that is 23 pages long. And it states that she broke 9 rules. Several of them, they would be in a category of disbarment. All right. The man's name is Stephen Kramer. Okay, he's just a taxpayer. Y'all, when I tell you this complaint was so detailed, oh my goodness, I believe that one was either 22 or 20. Everything is like 20 something pages long. His bar complaint was 20 something pages long, but it had a table of contents. Do you hear me? It had a table of contents on it. A table of contents for a bar complaint. Yep, the bar looking at her now. Yes, so the bar is looking into her right now. So anyway, his name is Stephen Kramer. He's a taxpayer. And he said he got very angry because, listen, I had to write this sentence down. He got very angry because he did not like her giving his money to her boyfriend and them taking trips all around the world to Aruba and Napa Valley, places that he can't even go. Okay, so he was upset about that. He talked about the aspect of money being given to Nathan Wade, and in return, those monies being returned back to Fani. Yes, they were returned back to her in the aspect of a trip or, you know, restaurants or what have you. But he talks about the revolving money in that. And then he also talks about that it was a succinctness of everything that took place, and he gleaned information from each one. So what? He looked at Fani Willis's own testimony. So in his complaint, his bar complaint, he speaks about things that she has said that contradicted, other people. He talked about the church speech. And he said when she said that God was on her side, he said that really bothered her because from that standpoint, I believe, if I could be mistaken, if I'm wrong, put it in there, but I think it was State Bar Rule 3.4, if I'm not mistaken, where it talks about the public, okay, and how you should be perceived in the public, okay. And then in that aspect, what he was saying is that she could have tainted some witnesses. I mean, some what do you call it, juries, okay, jurors. She could have tainted some jurors because, again, we don't know who the pool of people are going to be, and this church is in Fulton County, okay. So she could have tainted some jurors stating that God is on her side without even hearing anything, and it would say that God is not on the defendant's side. So that was a heavy little piece right there. And then he also stated that he looked at the Georgia Senate hearing. Well, I already told y'all all the nuggets that was dropped there. Y'all know I almost went in shocked after that. So go back and look at my commentary on that one that day. It's gonna make you laugh a little bit because I just couldn't believe what I was hearing. I just couldn't believe what I had just witnessed. I just could not believe it. Okay. And so then he also talked about, and this point, you hear it now and then, but I really want to bring this to the forefront to make sure you all understand. And this is where I already know that Fani Willis, she messed up. She messed up. Nathan Wade messed up. They messed up, period. But this point is where I really, really, really think she went low. I really think she went to the gutter on this one. When Mrs. Jocelyn Wade's attorney, and I believe her name was Andrea Cartargas. I could be wrong with that. But her lawyer, okay, Mrs. Wade's lawyer, when she got wind that he had the job with the district attorney's office, remember, Maya now, he did not turn it in with his divorce information. So only job they thought he had was Nathan Wade's LLC, okay, which is, I guess, his attorney's office, okay. That's all they had. That's the only funds that they had. And so when they found out on the news, okay, Mrs. Jocelyn Wade and her attorney found out on the news that he had this position, they asked for, him to, first of all, be subpoenaed. And they wanted Fani Willis to be subpoenaed too, because during that time they got wind that they had a relationship. Do you know, after Mrs. Jocelyn Wade's attorney submitted the paperwork for Fani Willis to be subpoenaed and also, and deposed, she sent back an answer stating that she could receive a felony because she was investigating a criminal case, and it would be considered tampering with a criminal case to have her deposed. And she threatened a felony, not just upon Miss Jocelyn Wade, but her attorney too. I mean, that's love. That's gutter. That's gutter. To me, that's gutter. You all, let me stop right here. Can you give me a like and a share, please? Give me a thumbs up, share it, subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you, I pop on with some good stuff, and I make sure I do my research before I come to you all. But subscribe to the channel. Y'all know it helps push us out. And give us a thumbs up right now. So let me read what Todd is saying. Hey, Todd. Good morning, Miss Sherry. So good to hear you this morning. What a hot mess. I know. I was born in Lithonia, really now, Georgia, 57 years ago. I live in Mississippi now, but my, how Atlanta has changed. Ooh, you ain't said nothing but a word, Todd. It has changed. Listen, I am between Atlanta now and Florida. So I go in between the two. And I'm telling you, it's when I come back into Atlanta, you can feel the thickness in the air. I don't lie. When I'm in Florida, I'm near that beach. It's just woosah. But when I come back into the Atlanta area, it's thick here. It's really thick, and that's the only way I can really describe it. The air is thick. Atlanta is a big, small city. To everyone, it seems very big. Hartsfield Jackson is the largest airport, the world's largest airport. And so when you look at these titles, you all know the Olympics was here. So even though it has done big things, it's a real small city. Everybody knows everybody. Okay. Everybody knows everybody. So back to this bar complaint. Y'all, she's in trouble. And I said this in my commentary previously. I said that at this point, I said it was strategic the way they were going to do this. I said this to you all. And when everybody got upset, at the hearing, the Georgia Senate hearing, when they brought forth conflict, and I told you that was going to be the out that I felt the judge was going to take. Okay. And he took it. Okay. Yes, he said Nathan would have to be removed. But what the judge is saying is that I don't have to get the blood of Fani on my hands. I don't have to get the blood on my hands. The governor already signed into law. He's going after. Why do I have to get the blood on my hands? Remember now, May 21st is the elections here in Atlanta. Remember, Fani has two challengers, okay? One on the Democratic side, one on the Republican side that she will meet in November if she makes it. I don't think she's going to make it. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think she's going to make it. I think that the judge is like, I don't need any blood on my hands. She got the vote coming up. She got the governor behind her. And now Mr. Kramer with a 22-page bar complaint, or 23. It was 22 or 23. Yes, you were right. I'm tired they went after my neck. Y'all should see some of the comments. I was like, y'all, I'm just reporting what I heard. Okay, when that senator went after Ashley Merchant and kept asking her over and over and over again, what is the conflict? What is the conflict? I was like, what is the conflict? I was questioning myself. What is the conflict that's preventing them from getting a fair hearing? And in my mind, I couldn't come up with the conflict. I knew their behavior was, as Governor Brian Kemp said, rogue. I knew that. I agree with everybody on that. But y'all know, listen, the legalities, the legalese, y'all know it has to be presented right with law, what have you. And I told y'all from day one, I really like Judge Scott McAfee. I like him. I don't know. His spirit just resonates with me. Did y'all know he was only 34 years old? That man could be my son. He is 34 years old with two little toddlers. He's a baby. I didn't even realize he was that young. But even from day one, I told y'all, I said, I really like that judge. I really felt like he was going to nail it with whatever he did, whatever he decided. Even if he had went, totally, for Fani and Nathan, I feel like in his writings, he was going to convince us that he was right. That's just how much I really like him. That's how much I really like him. Let me see. Ty said, as we always say in the South, God bless her Fani heart. Oh, speaking of that, did y'all hear what former President Trump said yesterday? Oh my God, y'all. I could not believe he went in on Fani like that. He was talking about her derriere and everything. Oh my goodness. It was a little too much, but y'all know that's Donald for you. But anyway, going back to Judge Scott McAfee, you all know that he is up also for election. He has a challenger, okay? And he said he welcomes it. He feels good about his ruling. He feels like it was fair. And again, he knows that it was no sense in him doing anything against Fani because she has all of this. Fani's fight has just begun, you guys. Her fight has just begun. The hearing was not her fight. She has just entered the ring of her fight. And she has three challengers. She has the governor of Georgia. She has the public for when the voting takes place May 21st. And now she has the taxpayer, Stephen Kramer, who is mad as hell for taking his money and paying her boyfriend. She said, and using his money to take trips that he can't even take. Okay. So to me, Fani has just entered. Listen, we're going to be talking about this for a long time because you know what I told my mother? I said, if I was Fani and I had made some horrendous choices like she has made, I would resign. I would pack my stuff up I would go ahead and send it ahead of me. I would go to Dubai, but I would send it ahead of me because if I'm gonna have to live in isolation, I might as well enjoy it. I would send it ahead of me, and I would send everybody back a letter, okay? And I would actually do a video stating, I resign. Thank you all so much for your time and participation. I'm out. Okay? I would resign. And I would go, I would leave. I would leave the country. I sure would. I would leave the country because she needs to go through a period now of redemption. She needs to really, really start life over again. And how you start life over again, you got to accept what you've done. You have to accept what you've done and accept the consequences for what you've done. And I don't see that yet. She's still fighting, but she's going to lose. It's too much. It's too much out there on her now, right? Sergeant King says Fani opened the door to her personal life. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. And the thing about it is that, again, I always feel like Miss Jocelyn Wade gets lost in I don't know, I always feel like she gets lost in the shuffle, in all of this. And at the end of the day, she's not well. She hasn't been paid any money in 2 years. Her ex-husband, well, they're still married now, so they're still going through a divorce. He has to turn in some paperwork. And Mrs. Wade's attorney stated that if he does not turn in the paperwork that they have requested, then they're going to go forward with this, and they're going to go forward with it very vigorously. All right. And so he would want to turn in paperwork. And speaking of paperwork, the Georgia Senate Committee, the Fulton County Judicial Committee has requested documents from, no, that's the Georgia Senate. The Georgia Senate Committee has requested documents from Fani Willis too. They had them subpoenaed. She only turned in a small stack, and they sent her another letter asking her to get all of those documents. So if you look at my last live, I read all of those documents that they want from her. So that's where we are right now. We're in that space of her having to turn in those documents. So remember, I was saying she's just now entering her space. Okay. She's just now entering her fight. That wasn't the fight. This is the fight. This is the fight to save her job. And I can't see it happening. I cannot see her being able to win. It's too much. Mr. Told You. Hey, Mr. Told You. The irony is, if she had stepped aside at the initial allegation, her office would have been in better position. Talk about vanity. Yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Bam. That's it right there. That's it right there. And that's what I'm saying. Accepting the consequences for what you have done. Just accepting it, and you're right. If she had done it early on and say, you know what, you guys, I was wrong. I'm just going to step aside of this, and I'm going to let other attorneys take over, and just went in the woodwork somewhere and then kind of worked in the background. That would have been a way to accept the consequences for her actions and accept responsibility for what she had done. I totally agree with that. Yep, this was a warm up for the fight. Oh yeah, this is the fight right here. This is the fight. This is the fight. Everybody thought that Judge Scott McAfee's ruling was going to be the fight. Nope. She just put on her boxing gloves, and she has challengers in each corner. Okay, she's in one corner, but in every corner of the ring, she got a challenger, and I think it's going to be overwhelming for her. Okay, I can't see it. Now, remember I told you, I tell you how I feel on this, and I try to roll with how I feel. I can't see her surviving this next level. I can't see it. I can see her even at the point of possibly being disbarred. I see it. I see it being just that serious at that point. I already know Nathan Wade's going to be out of there. Okay, this man blatantly lied in his divorce paperwork. Blatantly. It's a blatant. Okay. Fani blatantly lied on the stand, and the thing about it is that she's right. We got to give it to her. She's right. Even though Hawk caught his cell phone at her house, we didn't catch her there. All right. So we got to give it to her. She said that Hawk is not a reliable, how does she say, reporting, it's not reliable in its reporting of cell phone records, even though she used it against others in her hearings in court cases. Okay. But she says it's not reliable. Okay. All right. We're going to give you that. All right. You're right. We didn't catch you his head on, we didn't catch you at the same place where his cell phone was. You got that, right? We don't know. You could have been somewhere else, and he could have just been at your house 11 to 5 in the morning, and he texts you, and all of a sudden the text stop, and he leaves your house, and he starts texting you again. Right. You're right. You're right. We don't see the big picture here. We don't get it. Okay. Yeah, we get it. Okay. But we got to give her that. But y'all, all this other stuff is too much. It's layer after layer after layer after layer. And we do know this. If Fani was, if she was prosecuting or she was questioning someone that was on the stand that behaved the way she did, oh, she wouldn't have had it. She would not have had that. They would have thrown somebody in jail if they had behaved like that. We already know how that goes down. She performed. She performed when she went on that stand. I couldn't believe it. I was clutching my pearls. I could not believe what I was hearing. I said, this lady has showed us. She said, I want a copy of this, and then, oh no, you lie. And Judge Scott McAfee, he stood so very calmly. He kept his composure. And you could tell that moment when he really got pissed. Y'all remember the moment he really got pissed? Is when he said, we're going on break. And he just got up and walked out. That was the part that really got me. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Okay, Mr. Told You, been in, I meant to type. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, dear Sherry, when she stepped behind the pulpit of a church, I know, holy ground, and lied, she better be glad God didn't strike her down right where she stood. I know. That was a little too much. That was too much. And anybody that could do that, it's a little too much. And Sergeant King says, yeah, this was a warm-up for, we have read that one. Okay. And let me see, here we go. This is the one we need to. Okay, Mr. Told You. I love that name, Mr. Told You. Mr. Told You Sal. Y'all remember to give me a thumbs up too. Cell Hawk and Celebrite. That's right, Celebrite is used in everything from homicides to counter-espionage cases. Woo! For a DA to challenge technology that all courts have accepted was stunning. It was. I just thought it was so contradictory. Is that right? No, I thought she had contradicted herself when she stated that it was not reliable. Now that blew my mind when she said, that's not reliable. You can't depend on it. I'm saying, what, girl? I know you're not saying that now. And you use the same technology against other people. Now, what they could do, if that testimony convicted somebody, just that alone, the Cellbrite or Cell Hawk evidence convicted somebody, I would use her own words and say, in her own words, she stated that the evidence that was against me was not reliable. Oh, y'all, I'm telling you, I would be good with this now. I would be good. All right, you guys, listen, thank you so much. I just wanted to come on here and kind of recap everything. I don't like to keep you all too long. We're going up against 30 minutes. I think this is the longest I've ever been here. But listen, for those that don't know, I am your multi-entrepreneur. I am Dr. Sherry, where I will teach you about business, about real estate, about credit, and about life. Today, we're talking about life. You all know I have a real estate school, and it is called, let me put the website up. All right, there it is, tsreschool.com. Y'all know I am the best real estate instructor in the world. Literally, I am, okay? My students generally pass on the first time. We do tutoring every Wednesday, 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All the information can be found on that website. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Until next time. Wait, we got one more comment. Oh, Todd saying, thanks, Miss Sherry. Thank you, guys. And listen, notification. Okay, hit that bell. So when I come on again, because I'm gonna come up with I have some great content coming out next week. Great content. I'm so excited. I can't even say the word. please, please, please hit the bell. So when y'all see that I'm about to come on and drop it, okay, you'll be the first to see it. All right. Until next time, Mr. Told You. Bye.